Makers, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jeanette Farrar. I'm the owner and maker of Jabel Chic. So you guys, makers, I know it has been a long time since you have seen my face on YouTube, but to tell you the truth, life has been laughing over here at Jabel Chic. A lot has been going on in the last couple months, so I really just needed a break just to kind of get the things that I needed to handle, personal issues, business, all of that. Life has just been laughing. So with that being said, I want to wish each and every one of you a happy new year. And I hope your year is starting off very blessed with your business and your family as well. So you guys, this is a much anticipated video that I have been wanting to record for some time. So as you can see from the thumbnail, I have built a she shed, a studio in my backyard, you guys. And building this studio has been something that I have wanted for the longest, because my business was actually taking over my entire house. I was actually working out of 2 rooms in my house, and between the packages coming and packages going out, materials coming in, all of that, and me having so much inventory, things were just being spread out over my entire house, and it was just beginning to just look messy and just not organized. And I just really couldn't find that balance between home and, you know, my business. So we decided to build a studio. I'm calling it a studio, not a she shed, but sometimes I'm always gonna call it a she shed. I don't know, it's just in me right now. So, but we decided to build a studio in our backyard, and it's just everything that I planned, everything that I wanted it to be, everything that I've dreamed it would be has actually come true. I was very intentional about building this space. So each piece that I've placed in here has a purpose. Each piece is methodically thought of and planned and everything. And I just didn't go about this being just throwing stuff in here. So building my studio has given me time to actually declutter some of the things in my business that I no longer use. And that has been very enlightening, because now I can actually see what I have without everything tucked in these little corners, which I was doing inside my home studio. And I can actually see what I have instead of buying stuff over and over. If you're a crafter, you know exactly what I mean. So I think that this studio is just gonna actually propel my business forward and just give me the flexibility and the space just to be creative and just, you know, just separate my business from, you know, my home per se. I do actually have my crafting studio where I actually do my tumblers still upstairs, but my laser business has actually moved to my studio. And as you all know, if you haven't been tracking, I have started making candles as well. Those candles are actually on my website, so if you want to order, they're actually there. I'm constantly adding new products to my website as far as candles, so just keep an eye out for any new scents and everything that's coming to my website as well. So I have done some re-recordings of the building process of this shed, so I may just kind of put those clips in here and there so you actually can see some of the building process. We actually started building this shed in May of 2025. That seems so not long ago, but so long ago if you just look at the months that's passed between here and now, between there and now. But to say the least, I just wanted to, you know, get into space and kind of work around as to how I wanted the space to fit me and my business. And since then, I have moved things around that wasn't working, added new pieces that I actually took away things that actually did not work, you know, for its decor and everything like that. So now I think I have a good balance of everything that I need, and things that I no longer need are not in this space. So that is really enlightening for me as well. So with that being said, I don't want to talk too much in this intro. I'm actually going to do a lot of talking, you know, bringing you through this space. But for this tour, I will not be going into any drawers or anything like that. I just want to give you an overall look as to how this space looks. I may put out another video as to how I have things stored in each particular drawer, things like that. But if you watch my other video about my laser room, it's pretty much set up the same way, except I just added candles in this space. So all of the, you know, the storage systems that I have, those were actually in my other space. So I just added a lot more things, not a lot more things. I just added a couple more pieces as to how the candle portion of the studio is set up. So that is just really beautiful. And like I said, it's just everything that I just wanted it to be. So I can go on and on about how much this studio means to me, but you guys, basically for this video, I just want you to see the layout of the studio. And like I said, if you have any questions, just place those questions down below. I will get into the pricing of the studio. I kind of lost count as we were building the studio. You know how it is. You just spending money. But like I said, the overall price of the shed without anything anything in the shed as far as electricity, things like that, was actually $12,000. And then of course we had to do the electrical, the installation, the drywall, lighting, flooring, additional furniture, all of that had to come in and play. So that kind of added up very quickly. So with that being said, let's get into this tour. And like I said, if you guys have any questions as far as any of the pieces that I have in here, just place those down below and I will actually try to get back to you as soon as I can. So let's get into this tour of my new backyard studio. All right, let's go. Art makers, so good morning. I know I look a bit rough, but it is what it is. So you guys, this is just the real, the raw, the true, unfiltered version of me just getting my she shed, my workspace, whatever I'm gonna call it in the end, together. So today I'm very excited because I am going to pick out the flooring for my workspace, and you guys, I am just so excited. It just seems like everything is just finally coming together. So I thought I would just take you guys along with me while I show you what type of flooring I'm gonna get, probably some shots of that, and just show you what I'm going for. I want to go for a lighter version, not a darker version, because I do want this workspace to be bright and airy and just not feeling like a cave per se. All right, so I'm going to give you guys a couple clips of that. I probably would do some talking, but in the end result, I'm just going to let you guys see which tile I picked. We're going to go into floor decor and pick out our flooring. You guys, the day is finally here. I think flooring is the most exciting part besides furniture. That's going to be very exciting. All right, you guys, let's go. Art maker. So I did spend a good minute in floor and decor looking at some different tiles, and I can say that I did decide on one. So you guys will just have to wait till the final reveal to see which of those tiles that I did decide on. And like I stated before, I had to stay within my budget, at least under $1 for a square feet, because I had to take in consideration that I still have to get the thin set to put the grout tile down, and also the grout, and also the other materials such as the sponges and all of that the contractor would need to complete the tile job. So all of those factors had to be taken into consideration with all of this. So I did stay within my budget, you know, minus a couple more supplies that I needed for the job. But you guys, I'm so excited that we finally have the tile. So I just left it in the store because I don't have a big enough vehicle to transport it home. So the contractor is going to come and pick that up for me. And hopefully we can get started on placing the tile down in the next couple of days. All right, you guys, so we're almost there, and I just can't wait to reveal the final reveal of my workspace. All right, you guys, stay tuned. All right, makers, so the paint is now going on the walls. We still have a couple touch-ups to do. So I don't know if you can see it from the camera, but this is kind of like a paper white, off-white color. And I am really, really loving this color. So excuse the mess. Everything is still very much a work in progress at this point. So next we'll be doing the trim for the windows and the trim for the doors, and also the trim for the baseboards and everything like that. So the floor is in on the entire place. So now we just have to do clean up, you know, get all the dust off, get it sealed and shiny and looking really nice. So this right here, back here, is going to be my feature wall, which you guys will see a lot on my YouTube videos coming up. So I plan to make that wall just look really nice and pretty, and just really what I want to say, YouTube, Pinterest ready. So that is going to be the plan for that. And you guys, I am so loving my lofts. Like, oh my God. So I still haven't decided what I'm going to put up there. I'm thinking I want to put my Stanley cups up there, you know, just so I can just look at them. But I don't know if they get really dusty up there. So I don't know if that is an option, but I'm still thinking what I am going to put up there. I know I want a pretty plant kind of hanging down here, you know, some little crystals or something in front of the window. So that is the plan. But, you know, further back up on the lofts, I plan to just put a lot of things that I normally don't reach for, you know, like a lot of extra materials that I have a lot in stock of. So I'm going to store those things back there. But up front, I kind of wanted this to display some pretty items. So that is the plan for that. Art makers, so we are one step closer to finishing this she shed. So stay tuned. All right, you guys, so I am not the best at this, but I am giving it my best shot. I have applied the trim to the windows, so now I'm going in with some caulking. And I actually cut the hole a little bit too big, so I'm having to use my finger, but that's okay, we're gonna make it work. So the trim around the windows have been done. Yo, I am so proud of myself for doing this. So I actually thought cutting 45s were gonna be really hard, but it just takes a lot of measuring to make sure you get those angles just right. And I actually just took my time and just did it myself. So it's not perfect, but it beats paying someone to do it. So I am really grateful that I learned how to do that. So my son did go over the floors again. So we're just trying to prep for the sealer to be done. So we just have to really get all of this white residue off as much as possible off the floors. But so far so good. They're looking really, really nice. So here is the other window. I am just so proud of myself. So like I said, I still have a couple more touch-ups to do here and there, but the big portion of it is done. All right, makers, so today I am sealing the floors, just trying to make sure everything is nice and sealed before we start the move-in. And the sealer that I'm using is the 511 Impregnator Sealer. I think I pronounced that right, but that's what I'm using. So 1 quart is supposed to cover at least 1,000 square feet. Excuse me, but this is only 350 square feet, so I think we will have enough. All right, so I've already done this side. So what I'm doing is trying to keep track of what I've sealed so far. I'm taping the areas off with blue tape. I still have to apply a second coat to this side, and to this side, I'm just starting the first coat. And then what I plan on doing is just kind of coating myself out through the front door. So makers, I wanted this to be the first piece that I placed in my new workspace. I am just asking God to bless this workspace and just to give me the calmness and the serenity that I have been looking for in a workspace. So I actually made this a while back, anticipating this new workspace. All right, makers, so here we are, the big reveal. It is finally here. So I am really loving the color that I chose for the outside of the shed. Ideally, I really wanted to go with black and white, but in order to coincide with the house color, we decided to keep the thing all brown in the backyard just so everything kind of matches. And I'm just really happy with the color that we chose. So my son just cut the grass just to make everything nice for the video. Everything is just looking so cute. I am so happy. All right, so these stone pavers right here, me and my son actually got from Home Depot, and they actually work really well with the color of the shed as well. So it's just kind of, you know, just making everything look really put together. All right, so this was a shed that was actually built on site. It was not a pre-made shed, so the company actually had to come out and build this shed on site because, as you can see, we actually live in an area that, you know, the area is really closed in. So we didn't have room to actually get a big truck back here. So the company actually had to bring all the lumber and the materials to build the shed on site. Alrighty, and you guys, look at my little lights, my little lanterns that I chose. I usually order these on Amazon. I don't know, at nighttime it just gives me that magical, you know, effect that I was going for, and I'm just really happy with them. They're actually motion censored and they work really well. So I'm gonna step back just so you can guys get another view of the outside. And like I said, I do not want to call this a she shed. I'm actually calling it my backyard studio. And I'm really loving the white door with the windows. It just brings in so much light. And this is actually, we only have 2 windows, this window, the door, and this window. This is the only spaces that we'll have for light in the shed. And you guys, I thought originally thought that it was not going to be enough light, but they bring in so much light. All right, so let's get ready to go inside the shed and see everything that I have been doing. All right, makers, I know I keep calling this a shed, but it is my backyard studio. All right, so forgive me for that. But anyway, let's go in and see my new studio. All right, so as you coming into the door, all right, so let's start on the left side. So here beside the door, I have a little end table where I can place some books. And it is just so cute. Oh, it's so cute. I think I got that piece from Ross. All right, so here is my leather couch. So in this studio, I'm definitely going for a boho kind of theme. So I really just want to keep the colors all white and definitely add some brown tones here and there to actually warm up the space. All right, so here is my couch. It's actually a 2-person seat. And my little organizer here, you guys, this is just so helpful. And I kept losing my remotes to my mini split and the TV, so I actually got these little adapter things here from Amazon. So it just helps me keep track of my remote for my TV and my mini split. All right, so here I just have a rug, just a rug, regular old rug that I got from Walmart, so really inexpensive. And a footstool, I think I got that footstool from Ross or Marshall's one. And my couch just looks so cozy. All right, so over here is the candle side of my studio. So I have all of my ready to go candles, some vessels that I made. Everything is already set up and ready to go. Here in the middle, you see a sign that I actually made on my laser, and you guys, it's just so beautiful. So I actually have changed my logo in the last couple of months to a green theme, like an emerald green theme, and oh, I could not be more proud of this logo. And I actually made this sign in my lasers. All right, so this piece I actually got from IKEA that I put together. So if you actually watched my last video of my crafting space, I showed you all how I made that setup for this little island here. So I actually duplicated the same thing and put the same thing in my studio. And only thing I changed as far as hardware, I got these little knobs from Amazon. They already came gold, and it just fitting the theme really well. All right, so right here. So one thing I did want to mention, I actually make my candle vessels out of concrete. I do have some glass candles that I actually intend to put on my website, but right now all my candles are made of concrete, and I actually use some pigments to make the candles have some color. So these 2 shelves, this system and this system over here, I actually got from Walmart, and I just had my husband help me to put them together. All right, so you guys, I am trying to hold everything very steady so you guys can get a great view of the studio. However, I am not good at holding everything steady, and I do not have a gimbal, so please forgive me if I'm making you dizzy from time to time. But I'm actually going to try to hold everything steady as much as I can. All right, so in between the 2 tall shelves, I just have a little cabinet here where I actually store some additional candle supplies. All right, so let's move around. I have my TV. I think it is a 45-inch. No, it is definitely a 50-inch. At first, I was not going to put a TV in here, but you guys, when I realized that I actually wanted a space to just come and relax, such as having this couch, I actually said to myself, I do need a TV as well. So not only is this space my studio where I have my business out of, it's actually a space that I come to relax from time to time and watch some TV. It is just, you guys, this space means so much to me. So a lot of times when I'm not working, I'm guilty of that. Actually sitting here and watching YouTube or Lifetime or Netflix or anything like that. All right, so here is my TV. All right, so I just have a little fan here. I think they got that from Amazon because we did start building this shed in the summertime, but this is just to actually push the air throughout the shed, and it works really well. And this little piece here is actually from IKEA as well. So it just holds my wax warmers. And I actually have one on top of my fridge. And you guys, look at my little retro fridge. It's just so cute. I actually got that on Amazon, so I actually will try to link that below as well. So here I keep all of my two warmers here because I do use two different types of wax in my candle making. So I just have those here. All right, so let's move along. So here, like I said, if you watched my last video of my laser room, these cabinets were actually in my laser room. So we just have our mini split here in between the two top cabinets. And you guys, this thing actually puts out a lot of heat and air. It is working out so very well. The whole system to have the technician install it along with the system itself actually was under $1,000. So that was great for me. All right, so here, these are the two Husky benches that I had in my previous studio inside my house. And you guys know anything about storage, these benches hold a lot of supplies. All right, so let's keep going. So here in the middle, I just set up a little pegboard station as far as, you know, things that I reach for time to time. So it's actually useful to have those handy. All right, so over here, it's just some little cubbies that I actually got from TJ Maxx, and they just hold all of my packing materials as far as business cards, thank you cards, etc. And I actually have a cutting mat on top of the Huskies, so it lets me cut my paper to go on my laser products and everything like that. All right. Let's close this drawer so you guys can't see the mess. All right, so here I just have a regular little step stool because a lot of my fragrance oils are up in this top cabinet, and I'm actually too short to reach the top shelf. So having this little footstool here actually works out very well. All right, so these little drawers or this little organizer just has all the little tools that I need for my business as well, as far as making wood signs, whatever it may be. All right, so let's come around to this side. So this Husky bench is a bench that we added to the space, and just to kind of give some separation between the candle making, my relaxation space, and the laser machines. So it's actually working out very well. All right, so let's go over here. These cabinets were actually in my last space in my laser room inside my home, and I did add another skinny one on this side, and you guys, it fit perfectly. I cannot believe how perfectly it fits in this space. So I actually just had enough room between the two cabinets here to fit this one here without interfering with the door, and it works out so well. So if you guys know anything about storage, it is a rule to actually use all of your vertical space as much as you can. So I actually have a lot of these IKEA storage bins up here on top of the cabinets. All right, so I think I forgot something over this way. All right, so you guys see, I do have a loft, but there was no way that I was going to be able to utilize that loft because where I'm going to put the ladder. But however, I did want the aesthetic look of the loft. So I just had the contractors frame it out and just leave the loft. Sometime in the future, I may use it. But right now, I just love the aesthetic look of the loft. And I actually forgot to show you guys my little chandelier up there. It is so cute. You guys, this was a piece that I actually, thought of, and I wanted something that wasn't too intrusive when I walk under the space. But you guys, it's actually the right height, and I just love it. All right, let's continue on. All right, so hopefully I didn't make you guys dizzy. All right, so let's go around here. All right, so this is my little desk station where I have my computer, where I actually operate the laser with. And this is my big laser, and this is my laser that does metal, and this is my small laser. And this little thing here is where I actually store all of my cement vessels when I'm letting them cure. All right, and this little organizer here is actually from IKEA. I got the inserts here to actually separate the wood materials, so I have all of my wood in one space. And that is my little laser over there. That's actually my Glowforge sitting on another Husky bench. And here I got these 2 white containers from IKEA as well. I just store a lot of supplies for making signs, and a lot of supplies when I need to stain signs as well. All right, so I did want to just come around here and show you all this bench. So this bench just actually extends up, and it gives me more space when I need it. It's actually so heavy, so I'm operating on one hand, so I can't really lift it. But you guys, it actually extends up and gives this whole space a lot more space if I need the space. And back here, I just have a regular bar chair and just a little swivel chair for when I sit in to operate my computer. All right, so as far as the flooring, I actually just chose a really light color flooring, just to make the space, just to keep the space nice and bright. All right, but you guys, like I said, this space was very intentional. It's very organized. I have everything I need, and like I said, I don't want to clutter this space up with things I don't need. And as a crafter, you tend to clutter things, unintentionally, but it does happen. All right, so that is about it. But like I said, if you guys have any questions as to different things that you see in this space, definitely place those questions below. Now, I think I forgot to mention, this is actually a 13 by 30. Yeah, a 13 by 30 studio. So I have plenty of room to actually spread out, and each section has its own purpose. But like I said, this section over here, my little couch, I must admit, this is my favorite section in the whole studio. I can just sit in here for hours and just watch TV. But you guys, I'm gonna pan around the room one more time so you guys can just see the entire space. And as you can see, the windows do bring in a lot of light. So a lot of times I do not have my lighting on. So I actually have 6 pot lights in the top of the ceiling, and they actually put out a lot of light. So let me see if I can turn them on. So bright. So you see my little chandelier over there? Oh my goodness. It just gives me life every time I turn it on. But yeah, during the daytime, I don't have these lights on. But at nighttime when I do need them, when I'm working in here, I actually turn them on. All right, so let's keep on panning around the room so you guys can see another view. Oh, I forgot to mention, this is my Stanley collection up top. Something I was not going to part with, so I had to bring it with me. And we actually have another loft on the other side as well. So I may end up just putting some plants just to kind of hang down there, but for now I'm just gonna keep it empty. And here we are. And this window here with the door, oh, it brings in so much light. All right, makers, so I hope you have enjoyed this tour. And as I've said many times before, if you have any questions, just place those down below. And if you would like to try my candles and support my small business, they are on my website. All my scents I make myself as far as mixing, the formulas, anything like that. So they are definitely very unique. All right, makers, I really hope you all have enjoyed a tour of my studio. Like I said, this video has been a long time coming, and I just really wanted to show you all my new space. And like I said, most importantly, as to how it's working for me and my business at this point. It's just everything, like I said, it's just everything I hoped it would be. And I cannot thank my husband and first and foremost, God, for just giving us the resources to actually make this dream of mine come true. So that is definitely, like I said, I couldn't have done it without the both of them. So much appreciated. But like I said, if you have any questions as to the things that you see in my studio, just place those questions below and I will get back to you shortly. But like I said, I will be putting out a new video as far as storage and how I'm using the different storage systems in this space. So hopefully that video will be coming out soon. But like I said, forgive me for not being on YouTube the last couple months. Life has just been twisting and everything. It's just been a whirlwind the last couple months. But I think we're actually over the hurdles now. So I'm really looking forward as to what 2026 will bring for me and my family and my business. But first and foremost, I'm keeping God front and center because nothing happens without Him. So I'm very thankful and appreciative of all the blessings that He has blessed me and my family with. But like I said, as far as my business, I think we did discuss as far as where my business was going about tumblers. I still love making tumblers, but for right now, I think I like making candles and wood signs a little bit more. So like I said, my channel is going to have tumbler making, wood signs, sewing, all of that. It's just going to be one combined thing. So I really hope to keep a lot of my viewers. I did not want to create a separate channel. I just want to keep everything in one space. So moving forward, my channel will be a variety of crafts that I love to make and I would like to share with all of you. So we're still keeping the tradition of the quote of the video. So with that being said, the quote for today's video is protect your peace. You guys, I cannot say enough about that. The 2025, I've actually placed a lot of things in front of me where I had to actually reevaluate people, just in general, just people that just brought negative energy to me. I just had to just really just step back and just reevaluate that aspect of my life, and most importantly, protect my peace. So moving forward in 2026, if anything that does not serve me directly, it has to go. So my peace is processed at this point. I enjoy my solitude. I enjoy just my peace. I enjoy retirement at this point. At this point in my life, I just don't condone anything that's going to destroy my peace. Let me say that. So I really just hope that that quote resonates with you moving forward into 2026. It's just something I'm going to hold near and dear to my heart, because it's just giving me the motivation to move forward and just at all times just keep my peace, protecting my boundaries, and just not letting any distractions, interfere with that. So, Bakers, I just really hope that you enjoyed this video. I will be putting out some more videos. I have a lot planned for videos in 2026, and they will be a variety of things, as I have mentioned before. But like I said, I really hope to keep my viewers with me on my YouTube journey thus far. So my goal is for 2026 is to reach 10,000 subscribers. We're almost at 9,000. So we're definitely chugging along with that, and I really appreciate each and every one of you supporting my YouTube journey so far. So enough of that, but until the next video, I want to once again wish you all a very happy new year, and stay blessed, and most importantly, continue creating. And I'll see you in the next video.